My wife made a roast reel of me for our anniversary, clips of my failures, my tears, even my panic attack at Dad's funeral. Everyone laughed. I just nodded and left. 2 months later, she was screaming at the door in a wedding dress. Please, come back. They dimmed the lights and called it the highlight reel. What played next wasn't a celebration. It was an ambush. The room filled with our closest friends and family, our favorite brunch crew, my old college roommate, her Pilates friends, even her pastor, erupted into laughter as the video began. Footage of me fumbling over vows during our wedding, failing to open a wine bottle, tripping over our dog's leash. Harmless enough at first. Then came the deeper cuts. Me breaking down at my dad's funeral, face red, gasping, collapsing into my brother's arms. My therapist's voicemail reminder playing over B-roll of me nervously wringing my hands before job interviews. A clip I didn't even know existed, me pacing, pale, in our bedroom during my first panic attack while she whispered, "Drama queen." Every second dragged like a blade across my chest. And she stood there, in a white silk dress, laughing the loudest. "Babe, tell them it's all in good fun." I nodded, smiled, clapped with everyone else, and left. No fight, no scene. Just walked out, got in my car, and drove. For the next 2 weeks, I lived out of a friend's garage studio, the one he usually rented on Airbnb. No heat, spotty Wi-Fi, and a futon that wobbled if you breathed wrong, but it was mine. No cameras, no spotlights, no staged humiliation. I didn't return calls. Not from her. Not from her friends, not even from my mother, who thought I just needed some space. Space? What I needed was dignity. We'd been married 5 years. Dated 4 before that. I loved her. Hell, I still did back then at least. But something in me broke during that party. Something fundamental. Not because of the jokes, but because she knew. She knew exactly how much I'd hated being the joke my whole life. Growing up, I was the funny fat kid. The punchline. The sidekick. My dad, before he passed, used to say, if you can't be the best, at least be entertaining. I wore it like armor. Used it to deflect. Got good at self-deprecation. Leaned into it during dates, during job interviews, during family reunions where my cousin Matt's 6-figure crypto earnings made me the cautionary tale. And she knew that. She was supposed to be the one person who saw me. Instead, she weaponized it. And filmed it. Edited it. Premiered it. In HD. I didn't file for divorce right away. Didn't block her. I waited. Watched. She started posting funny wife fails TikToks again, most of them showing off my mess-ups from over the years. Dropping a plate? My husband tried to help, bless him. Misreading a GPS? Never let him navigate, y'all. One video went viral. Me crying in a parking lot. After my dad's will reading. She captioned it, when your husband realizes he's the second favorite son. Face with tears of joy, broken heart. Comments were brutal. But she ate up the engagement. Until I sent a takedown notice through a lawyer. And then? Silence. She stopped posting. Stopped laughing. And 2 months later, there she was. In a damn wedding dress. At my friend's front door. Mascara streaked. Red-eyed. Screaming my name like it was a rescue call. Please. Come back. Update 1. I didn't answer the door right away. She was pounding hard enough to wake up the whole block. Screaming my name. My buddy Max, who owns the place, was already halfway down the stairs with a baseball bat until he saw her through the window. Then he just froze. Dude, is she wearing a wedding dress? Yep. And not just any dress. The same one from our anniversary party. The one she wore while they all laughed at me. She'd posted it on Instagram as my second wedding moment, ring clinking, glasses sparkles, with some cringy caption like, marrying my best friend again. She was barefoot. Hair wild. Mascara running. The definition of a meltdown. Max looked at me like, your circus, bro. I opened the door. Didn't say a word. She launched into a mess of sobs and accusations. You humiliated me by leaving. How could you just vanish? People are talking like I'm the villain. No mention of the panic attack clip. Or the funeral footage. Or the hours of mockery passed off as celebration. No. She came to rewrite the narrative. Because the tide was turning. 2 days before, someone had posted the full roast reel on Facebook. Her friend Haley uploaded it, probably thought it'd go viral. And it did, just not the way they expected. Comments were brutal. Is this supposed to be funny? He's crying over a dead parent and y'all laugh? This feels like emotional abuse with a budget. Even her own cousin dropped in with, girl, what the hell? She started deleting comments. Then disabled them altogether. Then locked her account. And now she was here. Not to apologize. To salvage. I told her to come inside only because I didn't want her out there screaming on Max's front lawn like some rom-com finale gone feral. She kept trying to touch me. I kept stepping back. You could have told me it upset you, she snapped at one point. You filmed my breakdown, Jenna, I said. Calm. Deadpan. Then laughed while strangers clapped. She actually tried to argue. Said it was her way of making memories. Said I'd always been too sensitive. I asked her one question. Why did you record my panic attack? Her mouth opened. Closed. Then she whispered, I thought it was dramatic, in a poetic way. Poetic. That's the word she used. She started crying again. Real tears this time, maybe? But I didn't care. She said everyone was turning against her. That our mutuals were pulling away. That people at her job were making assumptions. Then she dropped the line she'd clearly rehearsed. I wore the dress so you'd remember what we have. I said nothing. Because here's the twist. This wasn't just about feelings anymore. It was about receipts. A few days after the roast reel went viral, I got a DM from a guy named Julian. He was a video editor freelance and he'd worked with Jenna on some of her TikTok stuff. She hired him to cut together the roast with what she called Oscar energy. Julian had a conscience. He sent me raw footage she didn't use. Let me tell you something. You think the public reel was bad? The unedited version made me physically nauseous. Jenna narrating, "Ooh, this one's gold, look at him sobbing like a toddler." A clip where she zooms in on my face mid-panic, whispering, "What a wreck." And the worst? Her mocking me in the car while I clutched my dad's old jacket, crying after the funeral. She pans to herself in the mirror and says, "Wish I had popcorn." Julian sent me everything. Timestamps, emails, even the invoice where she wrote, "Make sure the funeral breakdown hits hard. Need the laughs." So when she asked me, through tears, "Can't we just move past this?" I said sure. Then I opened my laptop and showed her the folder labeled Jenna_unedited. I watched her skin go pale. Watched her brain calculate how many people I might have already shared it with. Watched her eyes twitch, trying to form a new lie and realizing she had none left. Then I said, "You didn't just lose me, Jenna. You lost the plot." She left. Didn't scream this time. Didn't beg. Just slipped off into the night, still barefoot, dress trailing behind her like a discarded ghost. Edit 1. Yes, I still have the footage. No, I'm not leaking it publicly. This isn't revenge porn. It's insurance. Legal's involved now. Edit 2. To everyone saying maybe she had good intentions, stop. You don't film your partner's worst moments and call it love. That's not intention. That's exhibition. Update 2. Let's rewind. 3 weeks after the wedding dress breakdown, Jenna served me papers. I was at Max's studio, folding laundry on the futon, trying to figure out if my life was a deleted subplot in some cursed rom-com reboot when I heard the knock. Process server. Civil summons. Alleging intentional defamation, reputational harm, and emotional distress. Yeah. She tried to sue me for tarnishing her character with a false narrative online. The same woman who weaponized my worst moments as punchlines now claimed she was the victim. Her Exhibit A? That Facebook thread. The one where strangers roasted her roast reel. She claimed I encouraged people to attack her. Claimed I leaked fabricated footage to discredit her professionally. Claimed I caused irreparable damage to her emotional well-being. This is the same woman who called my therapy reminders content gold. I'll be honest, I panicked at first. I'm not a lawyer. I didn't know how far she'd take this. I just knew her circle was full of influencers, empowered branding types, and one shady startup founder who bragged about ghosting 2 cease-and-desists in a row. But then I remembered something. Zara. Zara was my sister's college roommate, now a licensed attorney who owed me big for helping her move apartments 3 summers in a row. I called in the favor. She met me over coffee the next morning, read the complaint, and said one sentence that made my stomach settle. "She's trying to flip the script before you do." Zara's strategy was simple: let Jenna talk herself into a trap. She filed our response with exhibits, Julian's emails, the raw video files, screenshots of Jenna approving edits that included my breakdowns. But she saved the ace for the hearing. Because Jenna didn't just sue me for defamation. She went public. A YouTube video, 5 minutes long. Soft piano music. Crying on camera. She said she lost a partnership deal and had to pause her mental health podcast because of the online witch hunt started by a bitter ex spreading lies. The kicker? She said I'd fabricated funeral footage using deepfake technology. I swear to God. She told the internet my panic attack was fake. The day of the hearing, I walked in wearing a suit that still smelled faintly of mothballs, sitting next to Zara in a courtroom that buzzed with whispered drama. Jenna showed up flanked by 2 women I recognized from her TikToks. Their whole vibe screamed girl boss energy with a legal dictionary. She looked tired, not broken, just rehearsed, like she'd spent 3 weeks practicing a TED Talk for pity. The judge was this no-nonsense guy in his 60s who clearly hated influencers and had probably never used a ring light in his life. Zara opened with the receipts, one by one, emails, file names, timestamps. She played clips of Jenna reviewing the edit with Julian's voice off camera. "I love how pathetic he looks here. Keep that zoom." Then the one that ended it, Jenna laughing at her own voiceover saying, "He started crying when they mentioned the urn. God, he's such a wreck." The courtroom was dead silent. Even her lawyers looked like they wanted to dissolve into the floor. The judge didn't even call for a recess. He dismissed the case with prejudice and said, quote, "This is not a defamation case. This is a documentation of self-inflicted damage. You didn't get attacked. You uploaded ammunition and pulled the trigger yourself." Afterward, in the hallway, she tried to talk to me. Said she didn't think I'd take it this far. That she just wanted to control the story. I said, you did control the story. You just forgot what kind of story you were telling. Then I walked away. Now, she's spiraling. Her podcast lost sponsors. Her main TikTok account suspended. A former brand partner shared an NDA she broke with the roast footage. Apparently, one of the products she was reviewing in the background of my panic attack scene hadn't been approved. She tried to spunk my grief. Julian, the editor, is now freelancing for a docuseries crew. They're pitching a series on toxic influencer culture. He asked if I'd be willing to share my side. I haven't said yes yet. Edit 1. To the guy who DM'd me saying I should have fought her physically, nah. I don't win with fists. I win with files. Edit 2. Someone asked if she apologized. No. Jenna doesn't say sorry. She says that wasn't my intention and hopes you mistake it for remorse. Update 3. She dyed her hair, deleted every old post, scrubbed her name from Google Alerts. 2 weeks after losing the defamation suit, Jenna reemerged as someone new. Same face, same voice, new name, Serena James, trauma alchemist. I wish I was kidding. Her website launched with soft pastel gradients, butterfly logos, and taglines like turning pain into power and transforming wounds into wisdom. She wasn't just pivoting. She was repenting. Except it wasn't real. Because under the surface, it was the same game, same manipulation, same desperate spin. She claimed to be a certified empathic response facilitator. Not a thing. We checked. She offered $300 Zoom sessions where she'd guide you from victimhood to vibrance. And guess what? She used my breakdowns again. Blurred, cropped, background audio. Still me. Still monetized. So I bought her domain name, serenajamshealing.com, then .net, then .org, then .co. All forwarded to the original roast reel, now hosted privately with a password wall. The password? Poetic. It was petty. I won't pretend otherwise. But it worked. The emails started 2 days later. First from her assistant, demanding I relinquish the domains. Then from her brand manager, threatening legal action. Then from Jenna herself. The subject line was one word, please. The body just said, don't ruin this. I need this to work. That was the moment I realized. She still didn't get it. It wasn't about the domains, or the footage, or the lost followers. It was about accountability, about the apology she still hadn't given. So I responded, tell me what you did. In writing, admit every edit, every decision, every cut. Send me the raw text. No spin, no branding language, just the truth. If she sent that, I told her I'd consider taking down the redirects. She ghosted. Then she posted a now-deleted IG story, ranting about digital stalkers and toxic exes who weaponize old wounds. She even tried to crowdsource a legal fund. It raised $87. The final nail came from an unexpected source. Her sister. Jenna's younger sister DM'd me, said she'd read the court transcript, seen the footage, and finally understood why I vanished. She sent me a voice note. She used to mock you behind closed doors. We all thought it was harmless. But I get it now. I really do. And then, she's trying to move across the country. Start over. But she's not healing. She's hiding. I didn't reply. Didn't need to. I already knew. A few days later, Zara, my lawyer, called. You good? She asked. I said yeah. For the first time in months I was. She said something that stuck. You didn't just defend yourself. You built a mirror. And she finally saw what she looks like in it. Yeah? The domains are still mine. I haven't forwarded them to anything new. Just blank pages with a single line. Sometimes the healing starts when the lies stop. Edit 1. Yes, I still have the footage. It's protected, secure, and only released under legal pressure. I'm not out here trying to go viral, I'm just done letting her spin. Edit 2. She hasn't posted in over a week. Word is she tried to speak at a wellness event in Arizona and got cancelled mid-lineup when someone pulled up the roast. Update 4. You'd think by now, after the roast reel, the fake lawsuit, the rebrand, and the failed reinvention as Serena James the trauma alchemist, she'd vanish quietly into that influencer sunset of retreat packages and softlit self-pity. You'd think wrong. Last weekend I got a text from Haley, yeah, that Haley, the same one who uploaded the roast video in the first place. Please tell me she's not showing up to the Gallagher wedding. I replied confused. Apparently Jenna had RSVP'd +1 to a wedding she wasn't invited to anymore, my friend Mark's sister, Rachel. Jenna had met Rachel once at a holiday party and never spoke to her again. Yet somehow she was on the guest list and now threatening to attend. Dressed in white. carrying something, saying Michael will understand. I thought it was a bluff. Until someone tagged me in a live stream. The wedding was beautiful. Outdoor venue. Vineyard backdrop. Light jazz. Rachel glowing in a Vera Wang. Until 22 minutes into the vows, a figure appeared at the edge of the ceremony. White silk. Red lipstick. Veil askew. Heels sinking into the grass. It was our anniversary dress. The same one from the rose party. Only this time, she'd altered it. The back read, "Still your wife," in cheap rhinestones. She was holding a printed photo of me crying, of course, from the panic attack scene. Laminated. Rachel stopped mid-vow. Everyone turned. Jenna walked up the aisle like it was hers. Yelling, "Michael, you said we could move past it. You said you loved me once. You didn't fight for us." I wasn't there. Obviously. I was 40 miles away, cleaning my apartment and finally selling off the last of our old furniture. But her meltdown made it to the DJ's livestream. And to TikTok. Within hours, it had over 300,000 views. Hashtags? Brutal. Hashtag wedding wrecker. Hashtag roast bride returns. Hashtag she wore white again. The comments weren't sympathetic this time. People remembered. People watched. Rachel's brother escorted Jenna off the premises. Police were called. No charges filed, but she was banned from the venue and the family's entire social circle. And me? I turned off my phone. Brewed a coffee. Sat on the balcony as the sun went down. Didn't feel rage. Didn't feel vindication. Just peace. Real peace. Because that stunt? That wasn't about love. Or even revenge. It was her final broadcast. Her last gasp for control. And I didn't show up. I didn't film it. Didn't comment. Didn't even watch it live. She screamed into the void. And the void didn't answer. Final edit. Jenna's accounts are gone. Again. No rebrands this time. The domain names I own? Still redirecting to a static page. No more roast footage. Just a single sentence. The truth doesn't need edits. Zara's moved on to bigger cases. Max and I still split late-night tacos and laugh about how I basically turned into a Reddit folk hero. Haley apologized genuinely. Said she had no idea how far it would go. And me? I'm renting a little cabin outside of town now. Starting fresh. No furniture from the old life. No footage. Just stillness. My peace isn't performative. It's quiet. Earned. Permanent. And her? She'll always have that dress. And the silence that followed. Because the worst revenge isn't fire. It's indifference. And I'm finally free.